Alright, I think I'm ready to do this. It's been a while. Oh, we're filming now. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And, welcome back. Something I started in January, and I'm trying to finish before this weekend so I can get start on some film series. I want to do some film series reviews, get some other review series out. But I want to finish this first because when I get done with those, then I'm going to do the Pick 10 90s too, and then work on something else. But, you know, I got to do those first. So we were talking about Beverly Hills Cop, which was the last one that I randomly selected out. But before I get started with the review, I got to do it. Okay, I got to do it. Here we go. Ready? Ready? I had to do it. By the way, that music plays all the time. It's like Night at the Roxbury. When the song's not as annoying as that. What in love? That does get annoying. And they knew that in that movie because at some point in that movie, Chris Kattan's character goes with this woman to the club. They're playing the song again, and then it's like 3/4 way through the movie. They go into a club. They're playing the song again, and the lady says, "Oh my God, I love this song." And he goes, "Really?" He's starting to get annoying. So, yeah, but they never do that here. Beverly Hills Cop was, I want to say it was the breakout role for Eddie Murphy, but he did do 48 Hours before this. So, yeah. And it's a movie I've never seen before. And after watching it, Bad Scotty. Bad Scotty. I've had the DVD for a few years. Never watched it. And then I bought the collection. What was it, last year? Last year or 2021, whatever it was. And I didn't watch it. And I decided, hey, I put it in this. And then I'm like, I have to get back to doing this. You know, I still got other stuff going on. But I want to, you know, get the film review series done. I will get back to the Big Wolf on Canvas reviews. I can promise you that I will. I'm just taking a break right now. I should have stopped at the end of season 1 and then picked up that if I thought I could put some out, and then I was retired on Friday. Should have waited. But anyway, Beverly Hills Cop stars Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley, Judge Reinhold as Billy Rosewood, John Ashton as Sergeant, I forgot his name, Ronnie Cox as the head of the Beverly Hills Police Department, Bond villain as the villain of the film, Victor Maitland, and yes, he was General Orloff in Octopussy, one of the funniest Bond film names. I know it's based on a book. Oh, by the way, want to know my opinion on the censoring of the Ian Fleming books, which I never read, but as a Bond fan, I just have to say, stop it. Just, no, don't do it. They're doing it to Goosebumps, too. Just leave them alone. Alright? And Goosebumps baffles me, because Goosebumps didn't have that much. Whatever. People think kids can't handle stuff like that anymore. James Bond is one thing, but like, people think that kids are sensitive. Let me tell you something. It depends on who raises you. All three of us kids in my family, we can handle shit. Alright? My son can handle shit. Alright? It's how you raise. So if you raise them like sissy baby whiners, yeah, they're not going to be able to handle it. But, yeah. Anyway, back to Beverly Hills Cop, which I keep getting distracted from. Beverly Hills Cop is about Axel Foley, a a detective in a Detroit police detective who makes a trip, who after his best friend is killed, makes a trip down to Beverly Hills to solve them, to take down the person who murdered him. You know, I had this all in my head, and it came out perfectly there. But here, yeah. After the murder of his best friend, Axel Foley, after the murder of his best friend, Detroit police detective Axel Foley goes down to Beverly Hills to catch the man responsible. Boom! Boom. And from what I read, it's like they're just, every film is, he is back in Detroit, but he has to go to Beverly Hills Cop. Why is this movie called Beverly Hills Cop? And yeah, he's a cop in Beverly Hills, but he's not a Beverly Hills Cop. I thought the movie was going to end with him staying in Beverly Hills. He even says, you know what, man? I like it here. I think I'm going to stay here. And no, doesn't happen. And from what I've read, every film is him leaving Detroit to come to Beverly Hills. Did I not think he should just stay in Beverly Hills? Yeah. You start with, the heat is on. The heat is on. Playing in the background. And we meet police detective Axel Foley, played by Eddie Murphy. And let me say this. Eddie Murphy's performance in this is fantastic. He is great. This is like perfect Eddie Murphy. This is, when you think of one of his best roles, I would say it was this or Reggie Hammond. That was one of his better ones. I've always liked Eddie Murphy. But when you think like top tier roles, this is, if it's not the top, it's number 2. And he is just great in this. All right. So he gets a visit from an old friend named Mikey. You know, he's coming to visit him and hang out in Detroit when 2 men attack, knock Foley out, and kill Mikey. They even say later, we should have killed you back in Detroit. And I'm like, why didn't you? By the way, the henchman is Jonathan Banks, a.k.a. Mike from Breaking Bad. He has hair and no beard here, but I'm like, he looks familiar. Is that? And I looked it up. Yes, it is him. It is Mike. He just has hair, but you can tell he's going bald up there, and no beard, but it's him. It is him. And they're working for Maitland, who is the Bond villain, Orlov. After his murder, Foley requests to go after, you know, who was responsible, but his police chief says no because it's too personal and he doesn't, he didn't want to go after him. So, okay, I'm going to take vacation. And so he takes a vacation and goes to Beverly Hills, which, okay, it's a bit of a lazy way to do it, where it's like, he's told no, he's like, okay, I'll take a vacation right away. And the police chief doesn't catch on. He's like, this is not police work. No, it's just a vacation, chief. It's just a vacation. But, like, not once does anyone from Detroit come to get him throughout this with the stuff that he's doing. He goes there, he visits their mutual friend, Jenny. I don't know the actress who plays her, I'm sorry. When they get there, and she works at this art gallery. And in the art gallery is Bronson Pinchot playing Serge. It's just Bronson Pinchot doing a French accent, and it is fantastic. But there are times I could see him with Balky, like he asked him, well, of course it is something ridiculous. Of course it is. Come on. And it's funny that they work off each other's way. It's like, get the fuck out of here. No, I will not. It is absolutely true. It is just fantastic. I love Serge in this. I love that. He has a cameo it's here and then later in the film. And so he immediately figures out that it's this Maitland guy, Victor Maitland, who's behind it. And of course he catches the ire of the Beverly Hills Police Department. Mainly Ronnie Cox's character here, and then Billy and the other guy. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. But So when he just walks into the guy's office to confront him, he's thrown out the window. He gets arrested for getting thrown out the window because they say it's disturbing the peace. You still got thrown out the window. You need to investigate. You can't just say, okay, you're under arrest for disturbing the peace. Arrest him. But investigate what is going on. And, you know, they'll say one thing. Apparently, they did call and say, yeah, you came in and started causing a ruckus. It was a calm conversation from what I saw, but yeah. And so, Billy and the other guy are put on him as tails. But of course, he escapes. He does the banana in the tailpipe thing to escape them. But then, and heads to a warehouse where he finds coffee grounds. Apparently, coffee grounds are used to cover up drugs from being smelled by the drug dogs. So, something I didn't know. I'm not a cop. Why would I know that? I'm not a cop or a drug smuggler. I wouldn't know that. I'm just a fat guy who reviews movies in his apartment. That's it. But, yes. So, once again, no, he is found. He got in trouble. He says, you need to stop. He's staying at a expensive hotel. There's $200 and something a night. And you're wondering, like, how's it going to end? Like, with this whole thing at the end, but to do something clever at the end. Kind of cool. So, so once again, he's like, hey, want to come with me? We'll have a drink. And they go to a strip club. And let me tell you, this is a scene I remember. Okay? So, let me set this up for you. My grandma used to babysit kids. And she babysat this one guy named Justin. Don't know his last name. Wouldn't say it if I did. But his name was Justin. He was older than me. I think he was middle school aged. And I was 10, 11, 12-ish. I was before middle school, but I think he was already in middle school. And she had a whole bunch of VHS tapes. Stuff she recorded off HBO back when it was Channel 4. So, and it's like, okay, what do you want to watch? I would like what Chucky or My Girl or something like that. He's like, I'm gonna watch Beverly Hills Cop. So we did. And the scene, oh my God. The scene where they go to the strip club. Now, back then I was like, oh my God, naked woman. Here I'm going, well, I was going gaga over this. I'm 11, 12-year-old kid seeing that. Like I said, I was raised differently. Although, you know, that's fine, but I couldn't actually watch Skinamax. That was a no-no, but that movie is fine. And she was also, like, I used to go over there well into my early 20s, I would say. And I would watch R-rated movies. She goes, what are you watching? She would freak, because I had the R, you know, the F-bomb going off. What? It's a, I was 21. But yeah, I grew out of it. You know, I have a disability, so no, you know, but I love going to my grandma's house. It was freedom from all the chores we had to do at our house. It was freedom. For a weekend, it was freedom. So, I hated doing chores. I still hate cleaning, but I'm a janitor. Make that make sense. I'm a janitor, but I hate cleaning. You've seen some of the stuff in my apartment looks, you know, dirty. Anyway, the strip club scene. This woman, she's attractive, but not as attractive as younger Scotty thought she was. I guess just seeing a pair of tits worked. They're not as big as I remember, I'll tell you that much. But she's attractive. She's attractive. And so he takes him into the strip club, and that's when Axel realizes there's two men in there with guns. And so he tells the one guy, hey, two guys just came in here, you know. And so they end up arresting the guys. And so Axel tries to play up to the chief, like, oh yeah, these guys, they were outside. They followed me. They were outside. I went in to get a drink. And they saw these two sketchy guys going in. And they came in. None of these cops, they're super cops. And they came in and they took care of it, you know, the whole thing. And they're like, is it true? Because they established that the cops of Beverly Hills are by the book. They do not lie. They do not try another way around it. They do strictly by the book, which I knew was there for plot purposes because there are certain things, certain times, like, we can just do this. No, gotta play it by the book. And, you know, and so this is, you know, the guy's like, no, sir, that's not what happened. And they tell the truth of what happened. And, yeah. But, so, I lost my train of thought. So he kind of starts to bond with these two, though. They're taking off the case, and two more guys are put on his tail, but he still evades them. But he did sort of bond with them at that bar. And then, I like Judge Reinhold in it, so I thought he was pretty good. So, Beverly is determined to make sure that he nails this guy. So he shows up at this club, and he's like, yeah, I need to see Mr. Maitland. And they're like, well, first of all, it's like, he pretends to be gay. And this is probably not something that people would, like, say is PC, or, like, this might be something that people would, you know, frown upon. But the guy's like, can I help you? And so he does, and a gay person, yes, I need to see Mr. Victor Maitland right now. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, this is a private club. Well, I need to talk to him. It's very important. He's like, well, like I said, this is private. Can I get a message? Okay, you tell him that I went to the doctor's today, and I'm doing his impression. I got my test results back, and I was told I have herpes simplex 10, or whatever it's called. And he's going to get himself checked too. Okay? He's like, why don't you go in there and talk to him? I think that would be best. And so he goes in, and then he drops him aside. He's like, hello, Victor. And, you know, he tries to get him to confess, but technically, Mike does. He's like, should have shot you. And he knocks him down into the buffet, and then police come and take him away again. But that's still not enough. He's still trying to, he's still trying to stop him. They've had enough, though. Like, okay, they're going to drop these charges, and we're going to have Billy escort you back to your hotel. You're going to pack your stuff up, and he's going to follow you all the way until you leave town. And then that's it. You never come back. And this is when he convinces Billy. He's like, Billy, you need to go. We need to go to, you know, you need to come with me. We need to bust him. We're very close. We got it. We need to bust him. You know what I mean? But Billy's by the book. But then he goes along with it because he's sort of, you know, they're very close. So they go to see Jenny, who just had an encounter with Maitland, basically a threatening one. He's asking if he knew Axel Foley. Yeah, he came here to tell me your friend Mikey died. That's it. He left. I haven't seen him since, which is a lie because he did come back later. But so Axel goes to see her. She tells him what happened and says, "I'm going with you." I'm like, this woman is gonna get kidnapped. Sure enough, they get to the thing, and he's like, I'm guessing that if I told you to stay here, you wouldn't, or something like that. She's like, no. So they go in together. They leave Billy outside. Something about he can't go in, or the arrest wouldn't be official, or something like that. They go in there, and sure enough, they find drugs underneath. He's like, that ain't sugar. It's a cocaine. It's a cocaine. And so, I did that. That's from Bedazzled, by the way. That's a cocaine. That's a cocaine. But, no, cocaine. Cocaine. The white stuff, the stuff. I do not indulge. I do not do drugs of any kind. I'm clean. I can't say I'm straight edge because I drink alcohol, but, you know. And, just as they find the drugs, though, maintenance men show up. They kidnap Jenny, as was prophesied, and then they leave him to get killed. But Billy goes in, saves the fucking day with just shoot the guy right in the fucking head. Just right in the head. And then saves him, and then they go after her. Somehow able to figure out that they... Well, okay. Why would you... What kind of idiot do you have to be to kidnap a woman and then just take her to your house? That's what he does. Now, keep in mind, he does have a bunch of guys with guns, but, you know, the other guy shows up. So the three of them are basically mounting an attempt in. Actually gets in no problem, but then, of course, the other two bumbling cops are struggling to get up, and I'm sitting here going, what is this? The Two Stooges? What is this? They're bumbling, they're falling on top of each other. It's just like, this is the runtime. This is like earlier in the film. I complain about it now, because I kind of forgot it. Earlier, when he first goes into the warehouse, they keep cutting back between that and the two cops in the car. Just having a conversation or whatever. It's like, what is going on? You know what I mean? But eventually the three of them get together, they're shooting, they shoot their way in, they save her, they kill Maitland, and then Rennie Cox shows up. And then the big chief shows up. Rennie Cox puts out this bullshit story about how, you know, basically, Foley was there just as a, you know, he didn't fire any weapons, he was just there as a, you know, he was just watching things. And it was the cops that did the job, which the guys asked, the one guy, I can't remember, guy with the mustache, asked him, is this true? Yes, sir, it is true. About you, Billy, is this true? Every word. And so, he's like, man, you just lie your ass off. And, yeah, so he gets these, so the chief tells him, tells Billy and the other guy to make sure he leaves. Which, of course, there's two sequels, which I will do in the sequel-a-thon too. I'm going to start making a list soon. But he's like, yeah, we're going to make sure. So he buys, he says the police department is picking up the tab for the whole tab for the whole payment for the hotel room for those days. So he buys two $95, I think it's $95 robes. Gives one to each of the guys, and one guy's like, well, why don't you keep this one? He's like, nah, I got 3 in my bag already. And so basically that's it. And he's like, hey, we need to find a place to drink. You go get a drink together. Don't worry, you're going to love this place. We don't see what it is, but that's how it ends. I think this was pretty good. If there is one thing, it's not really negative, it's a bit of a nitpick, is the theme song. I love the theme song, but they play it so much. It's like every action scene. Do 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 do. Every like investigating scene. Dun 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 dun. They play it all the time. I love this theme song. It's fantastic, but they play it too much. Hopefully, and don't spoil it, hopefully they downplayed it in the sequels. I don't know. But to me, this was pretty good. So let's go ahead and roll the dice, people, as we get ready. 11. That's not going to work. We're going to have to re-roll. 8. We only have 7. Come on now. 7. Okay. That works. 7. Only half, so that's what it's going to have to be. So 7. Last one on the bottom. I reached out for these. I had to look because I counted 7 here. I only had 6 cases. It's because I put Earth Girls Are Easy with the Western ones, so I knew where it was. And I couldn't remember what movie it was either. It'd be funny if that's what this was. Oh. Oh. Let me tell you. You don't know what I know. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do a little Scarface. Oh yeah. Tell you something right now. This movie, I've never seen in my entire life. Oh no. Not at all. So, first time watch. Oh yeah. I know the impression, but I've never seen it. This is a long movie though. 2 hours 50 minutes. Why did I put this in there? Why couldn't I have picked another movie? 2 hours and 50 minutes. Well now. I do get a mulligan. But I don't know. I do get 2 mulligans, I think I remember. But I just... If I don't do it now, and I use my mulligans to make sure it's later, the last one or so, it's just going to be more... Is that Robert Loggia with a mustache? Doesn't know. I should just get it over with. And who knows? That 2 hours and 50 minutes might go by fast. That 2 hours and 50. 2 hours. Right? Google Mooga. I'm gonna need to play a video game while I watch this. That is for damn sure. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop? Let me know in the comments. Let me sure like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.